How's it going, everyone? Luxeley, straight out of MIT, on my char engineer, straight out of a barbecue where, no, I wasn't being a cannibal, and believe it or not, I bite, I don't bark, so I don't like barbecues, especially chars don't. And, yeah, I'm out of spring break from my engineering degree, and I'm wearing my Santa Claus / tuxedo suit, which I kind of like. Thought of going to home. You see, I should have checked the map. That's a noob mistake there. Always check the map before you commit over to go to home. Somebody already picked it up, so that was a waste of time for me, but it was only a couple of seconds. Live and learn, people. Live and learn. If you're not making mistakes, you're not learning. That's just the reality of things. So, instantly I realized something here. I'm in a 1v4 in mid, okay? And they're just crushing us. Why? Because I believe that they're pre-made. That's reason number one. Reason number two is because we only have 4 players. So we're in a 4v5 here. So 4v5 in mid. Well, it was a 1v4 in mid. And there you can see, yeah, somebody disconnected or decided to go check Facebook or porn or check emails, or maybe he's playing Pokemon Go. I don't know what the deal is, but he's at it. He's down. He's down for the count. So it's a 4v5, and that particular insignia kind of tells me that I might be up against a guild group or partial guild group. Yeah, randoms against a guild, 4v5. Deck is stacked against us here. If you guys play poker, give you an analogy, it's like getting a 7-3. Not quite a 7-2, but constantly getting a 7-3 offsuit. Sometimes you can win with that, though, and this is one of those times, which is why I'm doing this battleground. Trying to get the home base. Good idea, bad, just bad. Ran into a 1v3. The other guy popped on a little late on the scene, so, or maybe I was too early. One of the two. Reality is we're off to a bad start here. We are off to a really bad start. We're playing with a bad hand. So what do you do when you play with a bad hand? Right off the bat, you don't want to keep checking the scoreboard like I'm checking, because you're not going to see anything that you like there. So you don't want to do that. The second thing you want to do is keep a positive frame of mind. You want to start to think, okay, we might lose this, but we're going to learn something. Because we learn more when we get knocked down than when we stand in the winner's circle. That is a fact. So, yeah, this is adding to my misery. I just get rezzed. I pop out, and out of nowhere, a thief pops up. Now, his goal was just was really just to take some health out of me and slow me up, which pretty much he achieved. He did a pretty good job at that. So now I'm going to try and snag a base. And the reality is, Yoda says, don't try, just do, and that's what I do. So I'm kind of figuring that these guys are clustered together, hoarded together, because they are playing a pre-made, and that leaves the base open, and I happen to find it. Now, I'm thinking, gotta hold this, okay? Gotta hold this. I already tried to engage him in a base, didn't work. Already tried to engage him in mid, didn't work. We were outnumbered, outpowered. It only seems like there's 2 people on this team that are contributing, myself and one other guy who's really doing well. He probably could carry the whole team. So I'm just thinking, I'm just going to hold this base. That's my thinking. Now, Guardian comes, big damage incoming. His defenses are either on cooldown. He goes down pretty quick. I make the mistake of finishing him off here. This is another noob mistake on my part. You kind of want to play with him here a bit, especially if you're at full health, because you want to keep him out of the mix. You want to keep him in that down state as long as possible, and that was a bit of a mistake. So here's another poker saying for you guys, and that is, see, we're down by 160 points in a 4v5. This is not a good scenario for us, but we do have 2 bases and plenty of time. But that poker scenario is, someone once, I used to play a lot of poker, that's why I'm throwing all these poker analogies at you guys, but it's very, very appropriate here. Someone once said to me, if poker is very exciting, you're not playing it right. And that's true. A lot of, if you're bored playing poker, it's like watching paint dry. Chances are you're doing something right, and you're not constantly reaching into your wallet to rebuy. And it's very much the same thing with PvP in any given game, especially Guild Wars 2. If things are kind of boring and there's a lot of downtime as you're guarding a base, that's kind of a good thing. Leave your thoughts and let me know if you guys agree with me. You're allowed to disagree, as long as it doesn't start off with, Luxley, you freaking idiot, you don't know what you're talking about. As long as it doesn't start off with that, I'm happy. But okay, so we fested. I'm starting to feel pretty damn good, man. I held off this Guardian, and I'm at low health, and now I got to face a thief, and I got some brutal bolts coming, which I have to say are appropriately named. Maybe they should call them knock the shit out of you bolts, because it's keeping him from getting near this base. He shall not pass. He shall not get anywhere near this base. Once again, I probably should have kept him alive, but at a low health, no. When I'm this low of health, I can't just finish him off. And look who's back. The Guardian is back again for part 2, the sequel. Now, we still have 2 bases, and my efforts here are not reflective in the scoreboard. Very often, I take a look in winning events, losing events, what the scoreboard is, and this is one of the situations where the scoreboard really doesn't indicate what's going on. I think I did pretty well holding out this base. Granted, these guys might not be that skilled, but the truth be told, I'm not that skilled. So it's all fine and good and rather even. Here I'm keeping them alive a little bit longer because, like I said, in this scenario, it's almost better to keep them in a down state. And the only way that you could do that is if you're up there in health. Now, this is a mistake that I've made in this particular arena or battleground, whatever it is you want to call it. But that's how we learn. We learn from our mistakes, and I'm starting to realize that it's better, especially if you're in a 1v1 and you take them out, you have a lot of health, you want to keep him in a down state. Keeps him out of the mix, because he's going to come back again. He's like a bird flying in a window, convinced, hey, I'm a Guardian, I can take this. And the fact is, no, you can't. I already held it from you twice. And your buddy came in too, and it was almost kind of like a 1v2, and I held it. So he ain't taking it. And I'm starting to feel pretty good here. I'm starting to feel pretty good that I can hold the fort. And I'm doing my share because we're coming back. Now we have 2 bases and we're ahead. But, all right, I'm stuck in a 1v2 here. And one of them is ranged and the other one is up close. Now I got a bit of a problem because I don't want to leave the hub here. But I'm giving the free range at me. So I think I handled this pretty well. It's a losing fight, but I hang on as long as I most possibly can, because it's difficult when you're fighting 1 melee and 1 range, because chances are you're only going to be able to put some damage on one of them, as opposed to if you're fighting 2 melee. 2 range, it'd be even worse. But we handled this pretty well. I'm hanging in there. They're not getting this base. They are not getting this base. But we held it out, and that's the point. Sometimes when you're in this situation, that extra 5 or 10 seconds that you buy is the difference in the game. And that's why this video exists, because this happens to be the difference. Now, I happen to think that this is really makes some good and bad gameplay on our part, but as you can see, we're in a 4v5 and up against what I believe to be a pre-made. So the deck is stacked against us, and we're doing pretty good here. I like Spirit Watch. This is one of my favorite arenas or battle. I just think it's that WoW mentality that's his battleground, but this feels more like a battleground to me than an arena. So we got to hold on to that base, the home base, and I kind of realized that if we could just hold on to home, we should be in good shape. They don't have enough time to get the orb, but whatever. I'm going to go down there and keep them from getting it. We have a decent lead. We have a 70-point lead. Just got to try to keep him from getting the orb. And he still got the orb. How did he get the orb? I just was knocking him over the head with a mace, and he still got the orb. But it's all to no effect. 497 to 430. This is an epic, epic comeback. Ready for action. Yeah, the action is behind us, baby. That's right. My team is victorious. Well, someone on their team DC'd at the last point, but it looks like, no, they were not a pre-made. Or 3 of them were. No, 3 of them were part of a pre-made. I had that right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. This is Luxley saying, whatever it is by you, morning, afternoon, or night, make it epic. Luxley out.